He didn't hear his daughter scream. He only heard the sprinkler. That soft, cheerful ticking as it swept across the dark backyard, spraying water over the grass and over the empty lawn chair where she'd been sitting seconds earlier. No footsteps, no rustling fence, no car door. Just that chair slowly rocking in the porch light and her phone lying face down in the wet grass. Screen still recording a video aimed at the black tree line. When he picked it up and hit play, there was nothing on the footage but the sound of his own voice, whispering her name. Summer backyards are supposed to be safe. Barbecue smoke, cicadas, kids chasing fireflies, places where nothing bad ever happens. But that night in Ohio, June 2017, felt off. The air was thick, the shadows too heavy. Mark stepped onto his deck with a beer and his phone, arguing about work. Behind him, the kitchen glowed warm. In the yard, his 12-year-old daughter, Ava, filmed her summer night vibes for YouTube. The sprinkler arced silver under the floodlight. Beyond it, the tree line was a black wall. Mark called, 5 more minutes. He didn't know those would be her last. On the recovered video, Ava is chatting softly to the camera, trying to sound confident. You can hear Mark in the background on the phone, half muffled. Then, at exactly 1 minute and 13 seconds, she stops mid-sentence. Her eyes shift past the camera, toward the far right side of the yard. Her smile drains away. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything. But something pulls her attention. "Dad?" she calls, barely audible. He doesn't answer. She glances once at the deck, then slowly stands. The camera tips toward the grass. The recording ends with a single crunching footstep. In his statement, Mark swears he only went inside for maybe 30 seconds to refill his drink. He remembers the fridge light, the clink of the can in the recycling, the hum of the AC. Outside, something changed. The moment he stepped back onto the deck, he felt it. The world sounded wrong. The crickets were muted, like someone had covered the yard with glass. He walked down into the damp grass. The lawn chair rocked gently, spray from the sprinkler still hitting it. "Ava?" he called. No answer. Then he saw her phone, face down, screen still recording. He picked it up, and without thinking, his thumb stopped the video. He lifted the phone to replay it, expecting to hear her laugh, maybe a dumb attempt to scare him. Instead, he heard his own voice whisper her name. "Ava. Over here." The problem was, on his call log, he'd been on the phone with a coworker that entire time. The deputies checked. 1 28-minute call, nothing else. No call to Ava, no voicemail, just that whisper on her footage. Same tone, same slight rasp. His voice, coming from somewhere out in the trees, luring her away. The search swallowed the town for 3 days. Dogs, drones, volunteers in neon vests combed the woods behind the Reynolds backyard. The summer heat turned everything blurry, oppressive. No shoe, no scrap of clothing, no broken branches. It was like she'd stepped off the grass and just ceased. Inside the house, Mark replayed the video so often the battery kept dying. On one late-night viewing, volume turned up. He heard it. Not just the whisper at the end, but a faint, high-pitched whine buried under the sprinkler. Slowed down. It wasn't a whine at all. It was layered voices. He put in earbuds, leaned close, and turned the volume all the way up. Under the hum of crickets and the click of the sprinkler, he heard whispering, layered and out of sync. Multiple people, all murmuring the same broken phrase. "Ava, come see. Over here. Come see. Over, come see." His chest tightened. He yanked the earbuds out, heart racing. The house felt wrong now. Too exposed, too many windows facing that yard. He shut off the TV, the AC, everything that made noise. In the heavy silence, from beyond the sliding door's thin glass, he heard it again. his own voice. "Ava, over here." The words floated in from the direction of the trees. This time, they weren't coming from the phone. The voice was outside, in his yard, saying his daughter's name in his exact tone. He stumbled backward, staring at the black outline of the forest. Every instinct told him to answer, to walk out there, to prove it was some sick prank. Instead, he slid the door shut and locked it, hands shaking. Within an hour, the sound stopped. The official report never mentioned what came next. The old file the sheriff pulled from 2012 about another voice in those same woods. 5 years earlier, a retired woman named Linda had called animal control about children in the woods behind her house, mocking her dead husband's voice. They wrote her off as confused, maybe slipping. But in their notes, she'd said something else. That the trees learned how you sound and called you out so they could swallow you. She swore she'd heard her grandson's voice the night before he drowned at a neighbor's pool, calling her from that same forest. 2 lost hikers, 1 missing teenager, a dog that refused to cross the tree line. Separate tragedies until you map them. The second official story, Linda claimed the woods were a mouth. Her phrase, not the officers. "Them woods are a mouth," she told them. "They learn your voice. They call your name till you come close enough to step inside." The notes mention she refused to let her dog into the backyard for months. When the animal slipped past her once, it ran full speed toward the back door instead of the trees, scratching until its paws bled, eyes white with terror. No one took her seriously. The case was closed. But after Ava disappeared, someone reopened Linda's file. The pattern became impossible to ignore. Missing kids, strange calls, voices mimicking family members from the tree line. Whatever was in those woods didn't drag people screaming. It invited them. It waited. And when you stepped just a few feet too far past the safe, manicured grass, you didn't leave a struggle, or blood, or a trail. You simply didn't come back. The scariest part, each family at some point heard the same thing, their own voices coming from outside, saying some version of the same phrase. "Come see. Over here. Just a little farther." Always at night. The night after the official search ended, Mark sat alone in the yard with a bottle of cheap whiskey. No porch light, no sprinkler. Crickets buzzed, the air thick as soup. He told himself it was therapy, sitting exactly where she'd been, refusing to let the place turn into a monster in his mind. At 11:17 p.m., his phone rang. Unknown caller. He answered. Static flooded his ear, deep and wet, like someone was underwater. "Hello?" he said. Then cutting through the static, small and terrified. "Dad?" It was Ava's voice, or something that had learned it perfectly. He shot to his feet, nearly dropping the phone. "Ava? Where are you? Are you safe? Can you see any lights? Any houses?" Static chewed her words, but he caught fragments. "It looks like the backyard, but it's wrong. I can't find the light." He staggered toward the center of the yard, scanning the dark. "Scream, baby! I'll follow your voice. Just scream." She was closer now, much closer, her voice clear as if she stood right behind him. "Don't move," she whispered. He froze. "Why?" he asked. Silence then. "Because it's using you." Every hair on his body rose. The phone beeped and the call died. His screen showed call ended. 0 hours, 0 minutes, 13 seconds. 13 seconds. No record of what he'd just heard. Then from the trees, his own voice uncoiled again. "Ava, over here." But now it was wrong. Drawn out, vowels stretched too long, like something trying to fit its mouth around human sounds. It slid along the tree line, repeating, overlapping itself. Over here, Dad's here. Over here. He backed toward the deck, eyes locked on the darkness. A patch of night near the trees looked thicker, as if the shadows there were refusing the light. That darkness moved, not like a person walking, more like a smear of absence sliding behind the trunks. Each tree it passed seemed to warp, branches bending at odd angles, silhouettes momentarily wrong. It stopped halfway across the yard. Mark couldn't see eyes, but he felt it watching him. When it spoke again, it didn't use just his voice. It used all of them. Linda's trembling tone. A boy who'd fallen from a tree there. Ava, neighbors, strangers, dozens of layered voices all saying the same two words, "Come, see." The sound vibrated inside his skull like insects. His phone buzzed again. New voicemail. He didn't remember missing a call. Hands shaking, he tapped play. 4 seconds of audio. The sprinklers click. The crickets. Then his own voice whispering, "Mark, over here." The message was time-stamped 2 days before Ava vanished. Before that night. Before any of it. Whatever was in the trees hadn't just copied him after the fact. It had always had him. It had been practicing, sending his own voice back to him from the future, or the woods, or somewhere sideways. The yard he thought he knew had never really belonged to him. By fall, the Reynolds house went on the market. The listing never mentioned the missing girl or the late-night searches. A new family moved in before the leaves turned. They built a swing set, installed a tall privacy fence, poured a concrete patio over the exact patch of grass where Mark had sat. It didn't matter. One warm October evening, the new dad, Tyler, grilled burgers while his 7-year-old son kicked a soccer ball. The boy stopped mid-kick, tilting his head toward the tree line, now hidden behind the fence. "What?" he said to no one. "I'm not allowed in the woods." Tyler frowned. "Who are you talking to, bud?" The boy looked puzzled. "You," he said. "You said come see the fireflies by the trees. You sounded funny." He pointed toward the fence. Tyler glanced at the grill, at the burgers, at his son. A tiny shiver climbed his spine. He'd been standing right here, never once calling the kid. The far side of the fence, where the forest pressed close, was already slipping into shadow. He dropped the spatula and grabbed his son's shoulders a little too hard. "We're going inside," he said. Now. The boy didn't understand why. That night, around 2:13 a.m., the new family's motion sensor camera clicked on by itself. No wind, no cat. Just the soft electronic beep and a sudden wash of monochrome light over the yard. For 3 seconds, the image distorted right where the patio met the grass. Pixels smeared into the shape of a person sitting in a lawn chair, legs crossed, head tilted toward the trees. Then the distortion vanished. The camera log recorded nothing unusual, just motion detected. In the clip's audio, if you turn the volume way up, you can barely catch a girl's dry voice. "Did you hear that?" she asked from somewhere very far away. 3 true summer backyard horror stories, circling the same strip of forest, the same familiar sounds of sprinklers and crickets, the same illusion of safety. People vanish. Voices echo. Cameras catch things no one is ready to see. You'll be told it's coincidence, grief, bad wiring, corrupted files. But when your own yard goes dark tonight and someone out there calls your name in your exact voice, even though you're holding your tongue between your teeth, you'll have to decide, step closer or lock the door and pray it doesn't learn how you sound too.